Welcome back to another episode of Hard Reads, guys. It is TKbreezy here with Austy, along with special guest Alpharad, and we're going to talk about the Quarantine series, and of course, the new, well, I guess the other topic, the new ARMS character being confirmed for the next DLC, which I feel like a lot of people don't even know that ARMS existed, or maybe they did, but they never played it. But hey, look, it was a solid game for like 2 weeks, man. Like,
come on, dude. It had at least a month. It had at least
2 weeks is pretty generous.
Yeah. No, come on, no, dude. The ARMS saga happened literally like 2 months, 3 months after the game came out, and it was popping.
And that was a bold move.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing about ARMS Saga is that like that's what killed the game. Weirdly enough, like after ARMS Saga, like, that was the pinnacle of ARMS. So you're like, well, we've did it. We've held a successful ARMS tournament. We can move back over to Smash.
If I can just rip the Band-Aid off on that, I'm actually kind of like, despite not liking ARMS at all, I'm so excited for an ARMS character because I think the character designs are hype, the music's sick, but the gameplay's ass. So it's kind of like when you remove the gameplay and put it in an engine that works, I'm hype about it.
Yeah, I'm very interested in seeing that too. So like,
dude, it's an opinion. Like, I understand people like it, and I'm never going to bash people for liking things I dislike, but I just was not a fan of it.
I think... Whatever, just go.
Now, come on, ARMS representative, please.
Listen.
We need both.
It's just... Okay, so listen. ARMS was fun.
Right?
Okay.
Keyword was... That's the keyword. It was super fun when I first played it. In the first couple of months, I had so much fun playing that game. It eventually devolved into who made the second move. So you never wanted to swing.
Yeah.
So at a top level, not the greatest competitive game, but on a casual level, it's fun as hell.
Okay, I'll give it that. I heard, isn't it like
but I
free
respect
right now?
it.
Isn't it free right now on something? Like you can play
it's
it
free right now.
Free until like April something.
On the Switch?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh wow, that's crazy. All right.
Nah, PS4, bro.
I might get back in there.
ARMS 2 is coming.
They're gonna be like,
it's coming out.
Bust your Wii back out and let's get in. Imagine that. The ARMS 2 is coming though. I feel like there's no.
It definitely is.
Like out of nowhere,
an
ARMS character, and even though like there is other games that have come out that don't really have any promotion. Like Banjo came out, and there's no Banjo Kazooie coming out again, but. In the direct, he even was like, "Yeah, y'all should go back and play that shit." So I could see him saying that, or "Hey, there's gonna be a new one coming soon." So don't sleep.
I think it could be a second one because especially like Banjo wasn't first party. Right. I think that's a big thing. Is like they want to include these third party characters with like legacy because I'm in the belief that like this is going to be the last like Sakurai Smash Bros. So he's trying to go all out, and whatever happens next is going to be like a younger developer director who's going to focus more on like modern IP. So I feel like that's the reason in Ultimate why we're getting all this K. Rool, Banjo, Simon. Like a lot of those characters would never exist if this IP of Smash was created in today's day and age. If it didn't stand for a legacy of video games, I don't think any of those characters would get in. And all Nintendo first party characters for DLC have typically promoted something. I think like originally when you have your in Smash 4 your Mewtwo, Lucas, Roy, like those were just kind of like sure, whatever, and then they realize that you can actually shield these, and then we get a Corrin, and then Bayonetta, but that's kind of like not Nintendo, but it essentially is at this point.
It's second party.
Yeah, well, Bayonetta 3 coming out, saying we're
one day
Nintendo now. Eventually, that's actually like the first trailer we saw for like fucking Switch, and like there's no other info about it.
Metroid Prime 4.
Metroid Prime 4. I was just about to bring that up. Like,
man,
we still got that splash screen, baby.
The Switch XL is going to come out before that game comes out. So, or the Switch, I don't know, Switch Swap. I don't know what the fuck they would call it. The next generation Switch, which is still going to play all the same games.
Switch you.
I mean, switch it up.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Switch you. All right, before we get to the other topic, best guess on what the character is that you think would actually make it in. I went with Ribbon Girl until everyone reminded me that Ribbon Girl's outfit, which really doesn't matter. But now I'm still going to go with Ribbon Girl, but I would also be okay with Twin Tail.
I'm also in the Ribbon Girl camp because I feel like if you're going off promotional art, she has been in an equal amount of promotional art as Springman. And also, even though that like the me costume debacle, it's going to be interesting because one way or another, a rule for deconfirmation is going to be invalidated with this release because either Springman gets in and assist trophies can be in, Ribbon Girl gets in and me costumes can be promoted via DLC, or Twin Tail Min Min and Najara get in, and then Spirits can be DLC. So like any one of those 5 characters get in, it's going to spark up it's going to open a new door for other characters.
Hey, I didn't even think
But it's going to be
that.
Bite and Bark. It's going to be Bite and Bark.
Oh my god,
That's a bold choice.
Yeah, it's.
I think they're going to do some bullshit, and they're going to announce Arms 2, and then say, "Look at this new age Springman. Don't you want
Oh
to?"
no, that'd be
And
terrible.
then the people who don't want Arms in the game are going to be unhappy, and the people who do want Arms in the game are going to be unhappy. Everyone wins,
bro. All right, who's the one character you wouldn't want in though? How about that?
The
If you
robot
remember,
version
I
of
think
Springman.
I'm gonna go with Mechanica. I would not want to play against that.
I don't know. I don't really care, honestly. Like, if
Yeah.
I had to make a list of characters I wanted in the game, I don't really think Arms would be.
No, I mean, like, who of the Arms character would you not? Would you be
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Even
okay,
then, like, I feel like they're all relatively equal to me. I don't really.
Springman robot.
Oh,
So the
Springtron.
evil version of Springman.
Man,
Springtron, whatever the hell his
did you
name
play
is.
story mode like a lot? I forgot all about that shit.
No, I didn't.
That was
He
DLC.
He's playable
okay.
character.
Oh, true. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think I made it that long. As I said, it's about 2 weeks.
I feel.
He had that move that could like get rid of punches that are coming his way. It was kind of bullcrap.
Yeah. Max Brass would be cool too. I think would be for him to make it in. But
I would love that actually.
That'd be interesting. Anyway,
Given the bullcrap word, I got to know: am I censored as well?
No, you can say.
I don't know why he said that
Okay.
shit. Like,
Okay.
I feel like I'm gonna censor myself for some reason. I don't really know why. We usually don't.
Yeah, I say pretty much anything here. Regardless, man. All right, we're gonna move
All
over
right,
to
I'm
the
good.
next subject. We got the quarantine series, and the creator or half of the quarantine series team. Alpharad here. So, what sparked that outside of I know we're all quarantined for a reason, but what sparked you to thinking like, hey, we should really make something happen while we're all locked away?
A few things, honestly. I would be lying if I said I would have my career right now if it wasn't for the Smash community. Double negative was weird there, but the Smash community gave me my career, and I recognize that. I gotta recognize that. So I've always wanted to give back, but I never really knew how to do it in a way that would feel natural and appropriate and realistic. I think that's the key word as well. And I got really lucky that during this quarantine with COVID going on and everything, I am able to continue my job as per usual, and I can still make the same amount of revenue, if not more, because more people are staying at home. Sponsors are pulling out of big companies like NBA and investing into like YouTube and stuff like that. So it's like, if anything, the career that the people gave to me, I'm able to just do still, like, and nothing changed. And that's not true for the players who made money from events. It's not true for the commentators who had a cast for their money. It's not true for the tournament organizers who probably lost the most because they are now in the red because they had to cancel so many things for their events and then move it. And rescheduling is such a hassle. So we mainly I wanted to create a tournament series that would last for about 4 months or so. And I was already talking to some people to make it happen. And then that exact same day I was like the gears were turning, Critical messaged me and said, hey, I want to do another tournament because everyone's quarantined and everything. And I said, I actually have this idea for a circuit. Like, I want to do a full tournament series. And then him and I just came together. We hammered out the ideas, and we just, that's kind of it. We just wanted to give back to everyone who, in a way, has given to him. He's just a nice guy and wants to invest in the scene. He's always had an interest in. But for me, I definitely feel like I owe it to the community to do something like this. And that's kind of it.
All right. I mean, that's pretty dope. I mean, as I say, you hit a lot of points. A lot of us are kind of like, I'll say struggling, but we're obviously not making. Well, I don't know about players, but from my own perspective,
to be making more money.
Yeah, from my own perspective,
Yes.
like, I've definitely lost a pretty huge paycheck, but luckily I still had the income coming in from my stream and other like little sponsors and venue ships and shit. So like I'm fine in that aspect, but yeah, that you can definitely, there's a missing piece, and like I feel like that's what you're trying to feel.
That's our goal, at least. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had my other question. I guess was like it's a lot of money on the line. I think it's 10K, right? That's the
Yeah,
top.
yeah,
Yeah.
that
So
was the first one.
where did that come from? Like,
So I'm not gonna lie. YouTube at this point, when you're in this like upper echelon, it does pay well. And Charlie and I kind of hammered out the details, and we are looking into getting sponsors on board for the future tournaments. But the beginning tournaments is definitely out of our own pockets.
okay.
We fronted the money. We decided we wanted to do maybe 5 or 10K for the first tournament. And then we kind of talked around. I know Charlie reached out to Zero, and Zero put in, I think, $1,200, and then Charlie and I split the rest.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where the money came from for the first one. So that's about 4,400, I think, roughly, from both of us for the
That's
first
super
tournament.
cool of you guys.
Yeah.
It is cool, but we are thinking of trying to figure out how we can put sponsors on this tournament to retroactively reimburse us. So it's more of an investment than a
okay.
charitable donation, to be honest. But we're just trying to get the kickoff event isn't part of the circuit itself. It was a show match to get everyone's eyes on the tournament.
Right.
That's why we had all the top players, and we had some top talent in terms of casting. And we didn't really have any other TOs because there's a 32-man bracket, so we could just knock it out ourselves.
Okay.
But we are going to start reaching out to other casters, the players kind of enter on their own will, but we're going to try and get other TOs to help per tournament and everything like that. And we're already talking to a lot of sponsors, and we have a lot of interest in these tournaments, and that's kind of where the money's coming from, really.
And so when you say sponsors, you mean like basically like sponsor slides, like you'll have like, all right, this tournament brought to you by like HyperX, or this tournament brought to you by stuff like that.
Yeah, that's kind of like typically what you see in like esport events, but I think like since Critical and I, like, our YouTube channels are like just they have a big flashy number by them,
Right.
and like you can't really act like, oh, that determines my worth, but to sponsors it does. So
Yeah.
we kind of get to flex that number, and then we get these bigger sponsors who have never really done YouTube stuff before, like what's a random brand? Let's say Walmart's, like, not sponsoring anything, I can promise you, but people have come to us and they'll be like, what if you make game 5 of every set the Walmart game? Like, it's just these super tone deaf ideas, but it's like they still are interested. They just don't know how to integrate it. And that's what we're trying to find, that middle ground. Like, we definitely talked to a battery company, and it was like, what if you got everyone to play on Wavebird controllers? And we're just like, no.
Bro, I feel like the people at the top of the food chain in terms of money, like a lot of them just invest in stuff that they know nothing about. And they're like, oh, they put so much trust in the people that are in charge of running it, so.
In my experience, you definitely have to strike that middle ground of what their brain makes sense of and how you can spin it,
Yeah. I just I'm always a little wary about sponsors that like are not really in the game space, because like, I mean, they can be in the game space in a way, but like being in the game space for competitive and being in the game space for casual is like a totally different thing. A casual person will definitely see a Wavebird and be like, yo, I can play from my couch. Sick.
Yeah.
But like, like a competitive person will not see that,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about all those frames I'm not gonna get. So yeah, so I mean, that's interesting. I had another question about your I guess your thoughts on the viability on Wi-Fi. Like, I know that we're stuck with Wi-Fi, obviously. Like, we're not gonna get, it's not gonna get any better. But at the same time, we're all stuck at home. So to me, I feel like a lot of people, I've seen a couple of complaints about people being upset that it's a Wi-Fi tournament, but like, what other choice do you have? You know what I mean? Like, what is this?
Yeah. A lot of those complaints I saw with like the Soaked series, the first Critical tournament.
Yeah.
But I haven't really seen that as much with the Quarantine series, because people kind of accept, okay, we're doing this because of the quarantine, because of the C word, like I feel like people are less upset about this since there really aren't other options at the time.
Yeah, would you have tried to like run this if it wasn't for the coronavirus? Like, would you have tried to like? No, not at all.
There's no reason.
This was exclusively a thought because it was, what was the first tournament
that got canceled, or
whatever's
right after CEO
Was it?
CEO Dreamland was the last event.
Right. So
Yeah,
like there was Town.
Something got canceled, and it clicked in my head that I was like, "Oh shit!"
Town, Final Saga.
Maybe Final Saga. I think it was. I was talking to the people of Collision for an event, and then I was like,
Yeah, Collision canceled or postponed.
I was gonna go to Coachella actually, and then it was the same weekend of Collision. And then I was like, oh, wait, Coachella just got canceled. I'll come to Collision. And then I was like, wait, why did it get canceled? And then I start realizing, okay, maybe Collision's going to get delayed too. And sure enough, it did. So it's just like, I don't know. It was some tournaments that just kept getting canceled. Planes kept getting canceled. And then I was like, all right, I want to do something because I have the tools and resources to, because that's the only thing that really prevents people from doing things. So I would honestly, in a way, feel guilty if I didn't take advantage of the resources I have to give something back to the community at large. And that sounds like some frou-frou bullshit, but it really is true.
On the I guess on the tournament side of things, were you ever thinking about doing some version of a casual tournament? Because you are the casual master.
Yeah,
I have a tournament right now.
I wanted to. I still might sneak one in the middle of the quarantine series, just for the hype.
Make it worth points.
That's the one thing. Like, I feel so bad. I was gonna actually make a casual tournament, but then like when we started talking about the circuit idea, I was like, yeah, this makes much more sense and benefits the people who need it, because I know there are a lot of people with like super cozy jobs or like mid-level players, mid-level casters who haven't like really fully committed to this or not able to. So I think we really wanted to target the top level players and casters throughout this series so we can assure that they still make income in this scary time, which is like a hard threshold to draw, because I never wanted to make it look like I'm picking favorites or anything. It's just it's just like we have all these tournaments, and I'm going to try and spread the wealth as much as we possibly can, and that's hard.
No, I mean, like, it makes sense though. Like, your thought process is correct, because like the top echelon of commentators, like me, D1, EE, we're all, this is our job. Like, we don't go into an office during the week. We stream or we make content and stuff. While like, some of the lesser but still good commentators who haven't committed as much time still have jobs. Austin, I think you still have a job, right?
I do not. No.
You did though.
I did. I left.
All right. I was like, you definitely did at some point.
I left it in December. December was the last month I worked. So
okay. All right. So you're on the full-time grind now?
Yes. So I picked a terrible time.
Probably. Yeah. Honestly. Yeah.
No, we'll get work for you guys. Don't worry. We're just trying to. I think this next one's going to be bigger, because if we can get more streams on deck, that means there are more casters that we can get to pretty much pay, right?
Right.
And a lot of those fees will be taken from sponsors, hopefully. And realistically, yes, we're talking to a lot of people already. But we're just trying to.
You're trying to stream every match, right?
No, God, no.
Oh, okay. It was very long. Like, it was a very long tournament, so I was like a 32-man bracket.
Yeah, the 32-man bracket. Yeah, we probably streamed over half of the sets.
Okay,
but that's like a 32-man bracket. When we're gonna have like a 2,000-person open bracket, hell no.
Yeah, so it's not always 7 hours.
It's not always an invitational then, because that was more of like an invitational deal.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay.
That was it was a show match, if anything. We were just trying to be like, hey, everyone, look at this top talent we have. By the way, we're hosting a circuit. Haha.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why that was more of an investment from our end, because not only was it a fiscal investment, it was also a time investment of us getting everyone's eyes on this.
Mm-hmm. All right. So here's another good question. So if the the quarantine gets worse, right? We're still stuck in our house, I guess, after the 4 months. Do you plan to continue doing this, or make another one, a quarantine series 2, or what's up?
We haven't discussed anything like that, but as long I don't really mind going in the red for something like this, as long as it's not anything abhorrent. I would be very open to doing a second season of online tournaments. Especially if we can find more people to help us to kind of take the load off our backs, because the easier it is to do, the more likely we are to do it again, right?
Right. Right. So I noticed that you guys have also given the rights to VG Bootcamp for the videos instead of them going on your own channel. Was there a strategic reason behind that, or just I know VG Bootcamp is the biggest Smash YouTube.
Yeah, it was kind of that. 'Cause, like, we work with like other streaming companies who like also require on tournament VODs for income because they have staff, they have teams and whatnot. So we would like to work because this is kind of a pipe dream. We're trying to round up in the next few weeks, but we want to get like different teams on for different events. So like if we can reach out to like attorney locator who like, okay, you stream this one and then you can upload the VODs on your own. Or if it's something like we can have multiple streams. We can have like a VGBC and like a T-Lock, and they can have 2 streams up on top of ours, which means we now have 4 blocks for commentators at any given point, so 8 casters going on, and that's kind of how we're looking to spread the wealth. But for VGBC, it was just kind of like Gimmer reached out to me, and I was like, "Hey, do you want the VODs?" Because God knows we're not going to do anything with them, because neither me nor Critical have a spot on our channel for those.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So we just the videos too.
Huh?
They're lacking the videos too because they're not doing tournaments anymore. So
that's so that's kind of why we were trying to hand that over to them because it was more beneficial for them to have than us. And because also people look to VGBC for tournament VODs, not Alpharad or Critical.
Right.
And then when Gimmer started talking to us about like hosting Pound online and everything, so we decided to include that in the quarantine series circuit as well.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he was doing anything with that.
Yeah,
I thought he was
Pound
going to cancel
online?
and call it a day.
Oh yeah, they'll be formally announced like tomorrow or today, I think. But
I hope so.
we also actually it during the quarantine series, so I think we're just rolling with it.
Okay. Yeah. I saw that, because I noticed that he has been doing Xanadu's online. So a lot of things have gone online recently, which is good. Just good. It's unfortunate that that's the, the landscape that we're in right now, but it's a way to keep people engaged in their favorite games. I mean, it's not even just Smash too. I've seen Grand Blue has had tournaments online, Tekken's had tournaments online. So for the foreseeable future, this is what we're doing, and it's basically you're at this point where you're like, get with it or get home, because there's like nothing else you can do. You can't be like, oh man, no one's running tournaments, it's time for me to run it, because no one's gonna fucking go. Like that's just not gonna happen. So speaking of, if it does become over, would you ever like want to run your own national? Or I guess, well, you have PG for that. So
yeah. I mean, I've always kind of wanted to, but running tournaments is fucking expensive.
Yes,
it's like on the like a good tournament is a couple $100,000. And
we
you can
talk about that on an episode before this too, because we saw that one head ass tweet about why don't you just take the 10K and run a tournament? It's come on, 10K? Like what is that, bro?
Dude, 10K in the big scheme is not a lot of money when you're trying to make moves. Like 10K is like comfy living money. It's not good business money.
Not at all. I mean, that's gonna buy you like an hour in like like a small convention center. Like, thanks, I guess.
Yeah. You can get like a booth.
Maybe.
Yeah. So I have thought about doing it because I always I think when I thought about hosting an event the most was in the Smash 4 days when everyone was complaining about like everything counts for the PGR. You can't take any tournaments off and stuff like that. So I kind of did want to host like in a casual tournament with like items and shit, but have it to where it's just like it can't count for the PGR because it's so bullshit, but actually get a pot on it so like people would take it relatively seriously. But that's just, I don't know. Logistics are hard. Plus, I never really found the time for it. I have started considering it again for Ultimate, but I just haven't found like people to host it with, I guess, is my biggest thing.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably a little rough. I mean, I know that like PG you guys have the TOs, you guys have like Dash and stuff and whatnot, but like still, just finding the right place and time and resources.
Yeah, time is a big thing.
Yeah.
Plus, because no one really talks, like events aren't public till they're public, and then you could actually accidentally announce something. Like if someone announces an event 2 weeks before you, but you've been planning it for 6 months longer, people see it as the person who announced it first.
Yeah. I mean, that was happening a lot with 2GG in the 4 days. So
rip.
And
when you host an event every month.
What'd you say?
Oh, I was saying that happened a lot with the Dragon Ball Fighters back when it first came out, because like everyone wanted to get the Sonic Box versus Goichi match
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
So like
yeah,
everyone was always getting those first to 10, so it happened like 3 times.
yeah. It was getting a little old. I remember. I was like, all right, I don't need to see this.
Well, it's because they
again.
all planned it, and then they still had to go through with it, even though it just happened.
Yeah, now it's like a first to 50 in like 2 weeks, and you're like, what the just happened here? It just happened. So, I guess there was I talked to Samurai Panda about something that Panda was doing. I don't know if that's public knowledge yet, but you're not. Are you part of that? Is that the quarantine series, or is that something?
What thing?
We can talk later then. Never mind.
Yeah.
We
I
can
think we're all
talk
on the
later,
same
bro.
page.
Type it in chat.
All right, hold on. Let me go back to my look real quick. It's gonna be very interesting for the YouTube. Like, what the fuck were they talking about?
Yeah, I was like, is this public?
I don't know if it was public. Let me just. I forgot his actual name. What is his first
Alan?
name? Alan.
Yeah.
There we go.
So, guys, this is what we in the industry call stalling.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
So anyway, shout out to our sponsors. No, just
Anyways, back to the
online?
match.
Oh, the bamboo battles. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
public.
announced.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's something different, though.
Yeah. That's just like a little weekly fun tournaments.
Okay. And but you're not. Are you a part of that, or?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a part of it. No.
Okay. I mean, because I
It's
know
like
you're
I'm aware of
Panda,
it.
So
Yeah. My not interest with Panda, but definitely I've been a little busier with my music, my own stuff, the quarantine series, and a completely unrelated project that I think I've told you about that will come out TM soon.
I know. I mean, I know about the music project, but that just came out. So you have another.
Just
okay. I got it.
Yeah, you remember. There's a big project behind closed doors.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So we got some guys. If you haven't checked out Alpharad's music project, definitely do that. Tori and Deanna, my girlfriend and her sister, are part of the project as well. So if you guys,
they did backing vocals and killed it.
And here's some cool stuff, as well as the rest of the community. I know were you working a lot with Johnny? Because that's all that Deanna has listened to since she's been back home.
No, she's kind of a rabid fangirl at this point.
Yeah.
But no, Johnny is like one of my closest friends since I was like 16, 17.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like that's how I know him. And then I started doing YouTube. He kind of went off and majored in fashion. So he's like this musical madman. And then I come back and I started wanting to do music again. So he really like helped me a lot, and he produced the album. Okay. And so, he just kind of makes. Sorry, it's a rhetorical chat. So do you call her rabbit fan? I did. And she knows it.
Is he wrong?
Damn.
I am not. She's definitely in like the top 1% of Spotify listen to artist notification. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. But it's good music though, so I ain't mad. But no, I've definitely heard it quite a bit. I'm like, damn, dude. I'm always like, who was I know who it is. Don't even have to ask anymore.
No, Johnny's great. Yeah.
It was crazy.
So, do you have any more? You got any more questions for him, or?
I was just gonna say it was crazy listening.
My marks.
I was just gonna ask you. It was crazy listening to you rap. In all honesty, like that caught me a little bit off guard.
It was pretty melodic.
Yeah, it was very.
So let it be known for people listening to this out of context, that is not my original music he's referencing. My friend Family Jules, he does like metal VG covers, and he came out to Oklahoma because his girlfriend Adriana Figueroa, she is featured on one of the tracks on the album, and they were at PAX East. So they just stopped by Oklahoma on the way back and then went back to San Diego where they live. And so while we were there, they spent a week here. We just kind of hung out. And he was like, hey, if we could crank out like a cover, that would make my life so much easier. I'd stress a lot less. And we go, sure. So we started figuring out what song to do. So we did Reach Out to the Truth by Persona 4, from Persona 4. Yeah. And we kind of try to make it a bit more interesting. Not more interesting. I think we had 5 musicians together who are all like fairly talented. And we try to say, how can we make this work the most? So we try to play to our strengths. And Lotus Juice, who does like a lot of the rapping for Persona 3 and whatnot. And in some like Persona 4 tracks, especially like I think he was in the dancing soundtrack. like we didn't want Adrian to do all the vocals, so they kind of threw me on the verse because it's just really rhythmic talking. It's not like that is rapping if you boil it down, but it was just like so much spoken word more so than like rapping, I think, because I think those are actually very different things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was just
so
trying
it's like 21 Pilots and then like 2 Chainz or
yeah, like those are so different.
Yeah.
And it's like the syncopation of it also weird because like I had to listen to the song because none of the lyrics really match the beat of the song, so it's like very hard to actually perform.
Mhm.
But yeah, so that's the extent of me rapping, I guess.
All right, some bars. You know what I'm saying? We got them in the channel.
Yes.
Oh man. So yeah, quarantine series, man. You guys, when's the next?
April 18th is a minor tournament, and we're just breaking it up. Like, we're not going to try and make a convoluted A, B, C, S tier just because like that changes so frequently depending on the people. So we're just going to have arbitrarily smaller tournaments. So this is a minor, and that's going to be on April 18th. And we're just kind of saying like this has a smaller pot bonus than the majors might, and we're going to focus on them less. We might float top players in the majors just to have some kind of difference. And I've always been pro floating top players as far as tournaments go.
Yeah.
So like now we actually have a tournament where we can float. So that's a pretty hot take, but
yeah,
I don't know. I just think
it's a hot subject, but I think it just depends on which players are getting floated. Like, I don't want to float top 50, but I would definitely float like top 10. Like, I mean, these guys are going to make it.
But if you float like the top 16 seed, I see no problem with that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think the best thing a tournament can do is have top players. And if you can incentivize them to stay one less day at your tournament, they're more likely to 2 days than 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can just get them out of day one entirely, I feel like that's kind of I feel like that's this. I would want to travel to an event I could spend less time at, if that makes sense.
Yeah. To me, I think there was only one counter argument against that, but the thing is, most top players are not getting upset. Not most, almost no top players are getting upset in pools. So to them, that's just, I don't know. It's almost like a play your fans type deal.
It is. Yeah. They're like, because you sit down with someone, oh, I'm probably going to lose. And I'm like, come on.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah. No, but like, no one feels good about winning at that.
Yeah. It's like, all right, who's your pool? Oh, I'm playing Pikachu Master 5000, whatever. And then if I beat him, I get to play MK Leo. It's like, you're not even like I get to beat or I get to try my hand. Like, you're losing.
Back in the day, like in the Oklahoma Melee Discord, a Puff main had to play Armada in winners round 1 of Evo pools. And then everyone sees that and goes, damn, someone had to.
Yeah.
But there's one guy in the Oklahoma Melee Discord. It's like, okay, well, how much Puff experience does he really have? Only HBox.
I mean, it's good to be optimistic. It is.
Yeah, but he goes, and then
it's HBox though, he's like literally the only person that will ever hit top 8 with Puff. Like, so
he knows HBox, not me.
I was like, I'll hit him with
he knows HBox
low level tricks.
I'm different, bro. No, but go ahead.
He took 2 stocks in the match because I think Armada blind picked Peach and just went with it because it's Peach Puff. Matchup's hard.
Mm-hmm.
And he still, he took 2 stocks. And then that guy posted, I was like, yes, I knew we could almost win. Like, if he took 2 stocks this game, next time he gets the download and they play, he's going to take 4 stocks. And I was just like, where's this blind optimism coming from?
I need that level of optimism in my life.
Yeah.
Life's depressing right now. God, I need
it. Really is, But if I could be that optimistic about taking 2 stocks out of a 4-stock game, you did 50% of the work, and you're now believing that.
And if you look at the results, you got 0.
Yeah, if you look at the actual bracket, it's like
that's a swift 2-0.
Yeah,
it was close though.
It was. He said that it was close though. I got 2 stocks. Close though.
You got 2 stocks. No, but the argument for the floating on the opposite side, a lot of people are the people that are against it are the ones that like the spirit of the free open bracket that the FGC and Smash was raised upon. That get everyone is on the same level field. There's no one gets special treatment. So there's that argument that people will bring up towards that.
I think it depends on the game. I think it depends on the consistency of the game because I don't think I was pro floating in Smash 4 because that game was wildly inconsistent.
Most definitely.
Yeah. in Ultimate, even though we've had like upsets here and there, we've never had even close to a bracket like Civil War. And that's just like the most extreme example. Like there are several tournaments. Like think about the CEO when like Anti won. Like that grand finals was Anti Zanotto.
Yeah.
And all the top players were there.
Yeah, False. I think False even got in the top 8 too. So
yeah, he did. Yeah, his
he played some anime song. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, but the consistency for Ultimate is definitely a lot higher.
Yeah, definitely.
It makes sense to me. How floating works. I think that it really depends. It's a time and place thing. Not every tournament needs to be a floated situation. Like if Evo decided to float their top players out of the round 1 pools, I'd be like, all right, whatever, that makes sense. You still have to play through pools again anyway.
Yeah.
But if
nothing crazy, just like round 2.
Yeah. But like if SmashCon did it, like people are there to play. Most of the people are like there to play their favorite top players in any way they can. So I'm sure like even if they know they're gonna lose, they're still like, oh shit, I get to play Nairo round 2, or I get to play Leo round 2, or whatever. So you can't really float over there. So it really is a time and place thing. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, they could even strike like a happy compromise, like, hey, we'll float you if you happen to do like a meet and greet type thing. Like, I don't know how crazy that would be because that feels like too many asterisks by it, but like there's definitely things to do.
Yeah. So guys, as I said, man, that's the one half the owner and the creator of Quarantine Series. We got a lot of good questions for it. Also, you didn't have anything else, right? I don't want to cut you off.
No, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything else you want to say to the people about Quarantine Series that I may have not asked you myself, Alpharad?
Registration for the first minor event is up right now. If you just go on the Quarantine Smash GG place or the page, we have all the events lined up. We're just going to keep adding a bracket to register as the circuit progresses. So if you want to just go through and register right now, you're more than welcome to. And if you're watching this months later, the registration might still be up for whatever major is currently active, as long as it's not past like August 2020 or something.
Yeah, we're gonna be quarantined till 2025, man. It's gonna be a different.
God, please,
it's gonna be a different time.
No. But one thing, isn't it crazy to think we might have like 1 or 2 DLC characters come out by the time we get to play in tournaments again?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like now people actually have a chance to really lab and not complain about shit that they're,
they're still gonna complain.
Yeah, because if I can add one thing, like I think it's so crazy how players like Cosmos are using this period to swap between Inkling and Pikachu. Like he already was, but now is like the best time to focus on a new main.
Right. Yeah, because I mean you have all the time in the world to just kind of practice.
And your results
it's the off season. It's the off season. Here it is.
That fabled off season that we've been asking for forever until the conversation actually came up and everyone was like,
you learn to be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, and now here we are, the most off of seasons right now. This is a rough outing. I don't know, actually. I don't have a time estimate of how long this can last. I mean, it really is up to the doctors and scientists and all that good stuff.
I have seen a lot of scientists claim it's going to be like a seasonal thing, and so like they might just like get a vaccine for it, which means that it will likely come back again. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was like late summer, fall, and then we take the same precautions in spring. But again, like I'm not a professional in this, is going off what I've heard and read. Yeah. And then, just because you had it once, you're not immune to having it again. So like there's a lot of scary precautions that you have to take. There's so much up in the air. Yeah.
I think for the tournament folks, it's definitely like what we're all banking on now is that will Evo get canceled or not? Like I think that's the one that everyone's looking at now. And I think Breakers got canceled, and I mean, if Evo gets canceled, I'm thinking like the next 3 months after that, pretty much you might as well just go ahead.
Bro, poor Granblue, dude. Like it just came out.
Yeah,
it's rough out here for gaming, man.
Granblue, they're gonna have like a beast of a player base as soon as the game goes to LAN.
Yeah,
that's probably the most rehearsed the first major will ever be.
Yeah. And they're getting like really good DLC as well. So whenever that finally pops off, it's gonna be like a 100% completed game. I mean, it's a completed game now, but they're getting even more shit.
Yeah.
Whilst we're in quarantine, you have nothing to do but to lab. So that's going to be a very fierce first tournament.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
When that comes out, But guys, as I said, this hard reads. Thank you for joining us, Alpharad. Thank you for giving us your time to come and talk to us about the quarantine series.
I really appreciate it, man.
And if you guys are tuning into the end of the episode, this will be on YouTube. By the end of tomorrow, at the very least, this will be on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. So make sure you look out for that if you missed any part of the conversation. I'm TKbreezy. This is Alpharad. That's Austy. You guys have a good night.